It's a miracle. We're back. We didn't think we would
We
be
are
back,
back.
but we are back. Oh my God. Like, subscribe. We got a hefty ass episode today. It's gonna be crazy. So let's jump into it. Monday Night Raw. It opens up with a video recap of everything that happened at WrestleMania, right? Showing Randy beating Jay in a loser leaves Raw match, Becky beating Nia, the crowning of a new tag team champions and Pretty Deadly, Tiffany Stratton getting revenge and beating Bliss for the US Championship, Jada and Bianca becoming women's tag team champions, Carmelo Hayes aligning with Paul Heyman and stacking Roman and Punk for the victory, Tyler Bate returning and costing Pete Dunne the IC championship, leaving Oba Femi to stand tall and reign over Raw as Intercontinental Champion, Chelsea beating Piper, Stephanie getting the win over Jordan Grace, Roxanne somehow retaining her world championship against both Julia and Rhea, and lastly showing Finn Balor overcome the odds and put away Adam Cole to become the WWE champion. The final shot shows Finn holding the title high as Michael Cole can be heard saying the undisputed era is over. We then cut backstage, watching Finn, Roxanne, Oba, Chelsea, and others come in separately. While that is happening, Michael Cole says that Raw and SmackDown GMs have started a superstar shakeup, and we might see new faces on Raw as soon as tonight. And once that is done, Finn comes out to a massive ovation. He does his entrance, stands in the ring for a while with a mic in his hand. The crowd chants, "You deserve it." Thank you. I truly appreciate it, but I couldn't have done it alone. I actually wanted to come out here and thank a couple of people. So, if you could all please join me and give me a warm welcome to Shinsuke Nakamura and JD McDonough. Shin's music hits that he comes out with JD at his side. They both make their way to the ring. They both hug Finn and grab mics. That's when Finn says, "Well, it's uh it's been a weird past year, hasn't it, boys?" Shin smirks and JD nods his head. That's when Shin says, "Fit, what's all this about? Why did you bring us out here?" "All right," Finn says. "A man of business, I can respect that." "Well, look, I would not be where I am right now without you two. Even though JD made some mistakes, he still made up for them in the end. I want to reward you guys. And before all the newcomers come to call their shots, I think you two deserve an opportunity at this championship." Finn holds the title up high as Shin and JD look at it. They both are about to put the mic in their mouth when Randy Orton's theme song starts playing. Everyone in the ring looks toward the entrance to see Randy slowly making his way to the ring with a mic. Once he gets in the ring, he says, "Well, I didn't know we were in the business of just giving away free title shots, but since that's what we're doing, then I deserve a shot more than any of these bums." Shin takes offense at that and he gets in Randy's face as the Viper laughs it off. JD pulls Shin off as Finn says, "I'm not just giving them away, these two men have earned it. You have too, Randy, and once I'm done with them, maybe you can come after me next. But for now, it's not your time." Shin side eyes Finn, confused as to why Finn would look past him that easily. He puts the mic to his mouth and is about to speak when Carmelo's music hits. Melo comes out with his new right-hand man, Paul Heyman, and says, "Fellas, if we're talking about deserving a title shot, then the conversation starts and ends with Carmelo Hayes. I don't know if you saw what I did at WrestleMania, but if you didn't, let me remind you, I stacked Roman Reigns and CM Punk and pinned both of them in the middle of that ring. So if we're being real, this shouldn't even be a question." By this point, he finally gets to the ring, and JD cuts him off by saying, "First of all, why the hell are you referring to yourself in first person? Makes you look like kind of a dork, don't you think?" Melo's about to reply when he gets cut off by the theme song of Raw's newest member, Drew McIntyre. Everyone is shocked, looking at him make his way out the entrance. Drew stands on the ramp for a second, pacing back and forth until he finally puts his mic on his mouth and says, "You know, if there was ever anybody in the world who should be in the title picture right away, it should be me. And since Finn is handing them out, I'm here to take what I rightfully deserve." He is in the ring at this point and is sizing up the competition. He smirks at Randy, with whom he has had plenty of wars in the past. "Well, Drew," Finn starts, "let me be the first to welcome you to your new home here on Raw. But on Raw, we have a system in play, and 5 is a crowd. So why don't you go and look for another place to make your mark here on Raw first, okay? We'll talk when you're more established on this brand." "Oh no, you're not about to push me to the side like some jobber. I am Drew McIntyre. I am levels above everyone in this ring, and you will treat me with the respect I..." He is then cut off by the sound of "Burn it down." Drew yells, "Son of a..." Seth makes his entrance with a smirk on his face and a mic in his hand and starts walking down the ramp. Drew yells, "Cut the music now! You! I thought I was finally free from you. I was excited to never see you again." Seth laughs and says, "Surprise! I know how you feel." "I'm happy to see you too, buddy." "Listen, just listen. I'll keep it short, okay?" "Okay, well, I want that title. Finn, you know you want this match too. You know you want to prove yourself against me, right? After all, I do have a massive advantage in the win column against you. If you carry that title, that is supposed to mean you are the best. But you know you aren't the best because you can't beat me. So come on, prove it. Pick me." "No!" Drew yells. "You need to get the hell off my show now. If Raw doesn't want you, then maybe NXT will. Hell, go back to Ring of Honor. Just get the hell out of my face." And this is when I finally come out and say, all right, fellas, I've heard enough. And you have taken enough time off my show, so here's what we're going to do, all right? In the main event, it will be Carmelo Hayes versus Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus JD McDonough. And the winner will face Finn Balor at Backlash for the WWE Championship. Does that sound good, everyone? They all stand in the ring, eyes swinging around to everyone back and forth, sizing each other up. Finn nods his head and says, "Sounds good to me. I'll be watching up close. Wouldn't want to miss scouting the competition. See you later tonight." Finn leaves, and slowly the rest follow his lead. But before they do, there's a bit of an intense stare down between Randy and Shin. All right. Then Oba Femi comes out. He comes out and announces that he will be doing an Oba Open Challenge, and anyone who is dumb enough to come and challenge him for his Intercontinental Championship is more than welcome to try. But they will most likely get sent home in a body bag. So they should make sure they have their wills written and ready. And we get our first match of the show, and Oba Femi wins. Backstage, we see Roxanne pop up, still carrying the title over her shoulder as she smiles. In the background, we can see Heyman and Mello talking to Omos. Roxanne continues walking for 5 seconds when her smile disappears and she becomes dead serious. We see Julia walk in a frame. They just stare each other down for a while until Julia finally breaks the silence by saying, You got lucky. That was my title to win. Oh, please, Rox retorts. Rhea had you beat. I just got in there in time to stop her. You have never pinned me, Roxanne. I bet that eats at your soul. And you have never been world champion. And I know it hurts you more than I ever could. Julia fakes a smile and says, You better watch your back, because I'm coming for that title. And when I take it, I'm not ever letting go. See you around, champ. Julia walks away. We stay on Roxanne, whose face has concern written all over it, almost like she was hoping that Julia would get traded in the shakeup. The camera zooms out a little, and we hear a yell, followed by someone running in to attack Roxanne. Rox is on the ground trying to get her hands up to stop the attack, but the attacker's just too fast. We finally have a good enough glimpse of who it is, and we see it is Asuka. The new recruits are making names for themselves here. Asuka beats down on Rox until she sees the rest of Futuro Dorado come out to help Rox. Bailey leads the charge and scares away Asuka. Lola and Stephanie help her and take her to medical. Alright, then we get this match. Jada and Bianca win, lol. After the match, Bianca and Jada shake hands with Sol and Zarya, just welcoming them to their new home here on Raw. We cut to backstage where we see Finn walking when his eyes widen. He stops in his tracks, takes a second to gather himself. He looks nervous. Finally, he continues walking and clears his throat to grab someone's attention. The camera has him in frame. It's Damian Priest. Priest is leaning against the wall, just scrolling on his phone, still not paying attention. So Finn clears his throat again. This time Priest looks up and he lets out a sigh. Finn says, Hey, it's been a while. Yeah. Yeah, it has. What do you want? Look, I know things didn't really end on the best of terms between us. Priest cuts him off by saying, That's an understatement. I got a whole bowl of burning hot oil poured on my back, asshole. Finn looks shocked and like he forgot that happened. He says, Look, man, I'm sorry, okay? What I did was wrong. I was bitter and jealous. I'm not the same guy I was 2 years ago. If I could take it all back, I would. I'm sorry. I really am. Damien takes a while, but he finally says, Okay, well, go fuck yourself. You think you could just apologize and everything you did to me would magically be okay? Ha! Nah. As far as I'm concerned, you, Shin, and JD all deserved much worse than what ended up happening to you guys. Psh, I'm out of here. He starts walking off when he stops and says, Oh, one more thing. That's a really nice looking title, but something tells me it would look a lot better around my shoulders. I'll see you around, Finn. He leaves. Finn is taking that all in when we hear a massive crash. Finn decides to go check it out. He turns the corner and sees both Shinsuke and JD laid out on the pavement with pools of blood around them. Finn starts crying for help. Medics come in and take him away. I come in and tell Finn that they will have to be taken out of the match tonight, and we will find whoever attacked them. Then we get our third match of the show. Tyler Bate gets his revenge and pins Pete Dunne. It's a miracle. Then we cut to my office where Bliss comes in and starts yelling, Did you see that crap at WrestleMania? I was robbed. The ref counted way too fast for anyone to have kicked out of. I want my rematch, and I want to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Bliss, what the hell are you talking about? Mike didn't count fast. That was a normal count. Listen, I know my rights as the former champion, and I am owed a rematch. It's in the contract, so make it happen. Now! Oh, okay, fine. I will. I'll mark it down for Backlash. Does that sound good to you? Yeah, it does. It's the first thing you've done in your entire tenure that hasn't been ridiculous. She walks off, and I just shake my head, saying, the damn nerve of some people. I pick up my phone and start saying, alright, I'm back. Let's make some more trades, shall we? We then cut to a pretty deadly promo saying that they are excited to finally have won gold on main roster. But unfortunately for them, the GM is being a hard ass and will make them defend their titles next week against a mystery opponent. They say that it's not fair for them to not be able to prepare for their next battle, and whoever they face will have the upper hand. But they will come out with everything they have and make sure they walk out next week still champions. Okay. Then we have two matches in a row. All right, JC Jane versus Nikki Bella. JC Jane wins. Who would have thunk it? After the match, JC Jane cuts a promo saying that this is now the Fatal Influence show, and they are going to take over this brand in a way that has never been done before. Main event time. In the end, all four men are in separate corners of the ring sitting down. They start struggling to get up. Once they get up, Randy rushes Drew and is about to hit an RKO on him, but Drew pushes him off, and Randy goes flying straight into a first 48 by Mello. Randy rolls out the ring. Mello starts getting up. Seth runs to hit him with a stomp. He has his foot over Mello's head when Drew rushes in and hits him with a claymore before he can land the stomp. Seth rolls out. Mello rushes Drew to hit him with a first 48. Drew uses his strength to hold Mello up, and while he's holding him up, he hits him with a Glasgow kiss to drop him down. Drew starts setting up in the corner. He's calling for the claymore. Mello gets up, and Drew smells blood in the water. He starts rushing Mello when, uh, a, from the outside of the ring, a giant man pulls Mello out of harm's way. Drew looks at him, and we can see it is in fact Omos. Omos gets on the apron, then gets into the ring and has a face-off with Drew. They start trading blows until finally Omos is able to get him up and hit him with a running power slam. At this point, Seth is back up and on the top rope. He jumps onto Omos with a crossbody, but Omos stays up and hits Seth with a power slam as well. He tells Mello to come into the ring. Mello enters and is about to pin Seth. When Randy comes in and hits an RKO on Omos, Mello sees it and goes to attack Randy, but Randy ducks and hits an RKO on Mello. He covers. 1, 2, 3. Your new number one contender is Randy Orton. Finn is at commentary. He stands up at the announcer's table holding his title high. Randy just looks at him like a viper looks at his prey as we end the show.
Okay, immediately getting the ball rolling with Omos.
Yep.
Thought maybe we'd slow burn that one just a little bit, but nah.
Nah, we got more members to add in that stable.
We're back. Welcome to SmackDown, the SmackDown following WrestleMania. Let's just get into the show tonight. The show starts with a recap of what happened at WrestleMania. It shows Cody Rhodes winning the U.S. title. It shows highlights of the women's IC title match between Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair, with Jade picking up the win and retaining her IC title. The triple threat between Mercedes, Cora, and AJ Lee for the women's title, with AJ picking up a huge win and immediately being followed by the shocking betrayal of Cora Jade attacking her following the match. The four-way between the former members of Damage Control with Io Sky picking up the win. Highlights of the four-way tag title match, showing each elimination with the Lucha Bros picking up the titles. And then in the last highlight shows the war between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles for the world title. It shows all the near falls and then the final Styles clash that put Owens away and AJ standing tall with his belt. After the recap, cameras pan to the parking lot with a limo arriving that shows Roman Reigns get out of the limo. He steps out and takes in a big breath before starting to head towards the ring. As he heads towards the ring, he is confronted by Solo Sikoa and Bloodline Wolfpack. Solo says, "Well, look what the cat dragged in. Let me just be the first one to welcome you over to my show." Roman just chuckles and says, "Your show?" "Yeah, we'll see about that." He then walks past Solo and heads to the ring. Roman gets into the ring and grabs a mic, and before he can say anything, he is interrupted by AJ Styles. AJ proudly wears his World Heavyweight title around his waist, and he grabs a mic and says, "Roman, I saw you already got a welcome from Solo, but let me make sure you know that SmackDown is the house that AJ Styles built." No. You know what? SmackDown is more than just a house. It's a whole damn castle that's run by yours truly, the phenomenal King, AJ Styles. And let alone am I the king of this castle, Roman, but I'm also your World Heavyweight Champion. So hopefully you don't have any plans on trying to throw your weight around, because around these parts, I'm the top of the pecking order and no one is getting past me. Roman just smiles and puts the mic back to his mouth, about to speak when Kevin Owens comes down to the ring. Kevin says, "AJ, I made one small mistake and it cost me that world title at Mania. Now, I'm not usually a man just to ask for title matches, but I know I can beat you. If it wasn't for that one mistake, I would have that title around my waist. So all I'm asking for is a rematch." AJ looks at Kevin and says, "I don't give handouts," and leaves the ring. Roman just looks at Kevin, then back at AJ as the cameras cut to the announcers who speak about the rest of the show tonight. After the segment, we go into this match, Lucha Bros versus DIY. Towards the end of the match, DIY has some miscommunication where Gargano tags himself in and he and Ciampa argue, allowing Lucha Bros to capitalize. So the Lucha Bros pick up the win, retaining their titles. After the match, Ciampa seems upset, but Candice LeRae is able to ease some tensions between him and Johnny. We cut backstage where we see Cora Jade is walking the halls when she gets confronted by Mercedes Moné. Mercedes says, "Cora, I'll be honest, what you did to AJ at Mania surprised me. I didn't think you had it within yourself anymore." Cora looks up at Mercedes and says, "Look, I'm not interested in trying to be buddy-buddy with you. My goal is to take back that women's championship, and I felt like I needed AJ to understand that she's now the target and no longer the ally." And Cora continues walking along. We see Cody Rhodes come down to the ring with his newly won United States Championship around his shoulder. Cody says, "It's great to be wherever the show's hailing from. I forgot to look. And I have just one question for you. What do you want to talk about?" "Well, let me tell you what I want to talk about. You see, at WrestleMania, I became what we call in our business a Grand Slam champion. I won the sole belt that had eluded me in my WWE career, the United States title. Now, I want to be a fighting champion. I want to be a champion you people can be proud of. Someone who," as he's saying this, he gets cut off by Jacob Fatu's music playing. Jacob comes down to the ring and says, "So you want to be a fighting champion, huh? Well, let me not mince words then, Cody. I want that title back, and if you are a man of your word, then let's go right now." Jacob is fired up, and Cody just smiles and says, "Jacob, I'm sorry to disappoint, but I am not in gear. It would be unjust. It would it would be unjust to face you when I'm unable to bring my best. But here's what I can do for you. I can go back there right now and speak to Big E, and later tonight I could put this very belt on the line." Cody puts his hand out, and Jacob just stares at him and says, "Don't get it twisted, Cody. No matter how prepared you are, your best will not be good enough." And he walks off. We then get to our next match, Chad Gable versus Ludwig Kaiser. Uh, the victor is Ludwig Kaiser after he rolls up Gable and gets his feet up on the ropes for extra leverage.
Wait, who?
We then see Ludwig wins with his feet
Okay.
on the ropes. We then cut backstage. We see Solo Sikoa speak to Jacob Fatu and says, "So you're making decisions for yourself now, huh?" Jacob looks at Solo and says, "Look, I have no problems with you, but I want that US title back. So I took the opportunity I saw. And hey, look at it this way. After tonight, our family gets one title richer." We then cut over and see Jade Cargill is interviewed about her women's IC title and what comes next. Before she can speak, Charlotte Flair and Tatum Paxley walk up. Jade says, "Charlotte, before you say anything, there are no more title opportunities for you. We had our wars, and in the end, I came out the victor. So do me a favor and keep walking." Charlotte just laughs and says, "Jade, I wasn't coming to challenge you. I was coming to congratulate you. I gave you my very best, and you came out the victor. Now, this is not to say that maybe someday we can reignite that flame, but for now, congrats." And she puts out her hand. Jade looks at Charlotte, then shakes her hand, and Charlotte and Tatum walk away. Jade stands there for a moment when Raquel Rodriguez walks up and sizes her up. And segment ends as we head down to the ring for Charlotte and Tatum Paxley taking on Alba Fire and Piper Niven. Charlotte and Tatum pick up the win. After the match, we see Kevin Owens walk into Big E's office and say, "E, I want my rematch, and I know you can make that happen for me." Big E looks at him and says, "Kevin, I don't think you realize, but I'm in the middle of a meeting right now." Cameras pan over and you see Roman Reigns sitting on the couch. Kevin puts his face in his hands and says, "E, if I can be honest, I don't care that Roman is here. All I care about is getting my title rematch, so how are we going to do this?" Big E looks at Roman, then back at Kevin, and says, "Like this. Next week in the main event, it'll be Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens." Kevin just looks at E, then over to a smiling Roman Reigns, and then storms out of the room. We see Jey Uso is backstage and gets approached by Sami Zayn. Sami and Jey hug and they catch up on what each other have done over the past couple of years, both being world champions. But Jey has to cut the talk short as he has to head to the ring for his first match on SmackDown. His first match on SmackDown is against Bronson Reed. Towards the end of the match, Jey Uso heads up top for a splash when the Gorillas of Destiny rushes the ring and knocks Jey off. The Gorillas and Bronson Reed beat down Jey until Sami Zayn comes down to the ring and Solo pulls back his troops. So Jey wins via disqualification. Io Sky is interviewed about what's next after the four-way at Mania against against the rest of Damage Control. She is about to speak when she sees Rhea Ripley. Io immediately rushes over and embraces Rhea. They hug and Kathy moves over to interview both Io and Rhea now. She asks Rhea what her plans are now that she is on SmackDown. Rhea says she wants to try to get the lay of the land first, but the plan is to capture some gold while she is here. We then see Solo speak with Jacob Fatu ahead of his match. He says, "I know you probably want to go out there by yourself, but I'm going to be out there with you. Now, don't get upset. I promise not to do anything that is going to cost you your title shot. I just want to be there to celebrate with you when you win." Jacob doesn't seem thrilled about the idea, but agrees to it, and they head down to the ring. We then move into our main event tonight, Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Towards the end of the match, we see Jacob and Cody going back and forth. Jacob ends up throwing Cody towards the ropes and tosses him up for a Samoan drop. Cody, though, is able to land on his feet behind Jacob and hits him in the back and connects with a crossroads. Cody covers Jacob, but one kick out. Cody is shocked and Jacob gets up and is fired up. Jacob charges back at Cody and both go back and forth. Jacob eventually wins this exchange and drives Cody into the corner and beats him down until he is seated in it. Jacob takes a few steps back, then charges in and hits Cody with a running hip attack. Cody rolls out of the corner as Jacob climbs up top. Jacob then dives off the top and hits a moonsault. Jacob sells the moonsault for a moment, and as he is selling, Cody starts to roll out. Jacob's able to catch him before he rolls out and covers him. As Jacob goes for the cover, Solo grabs Cody's feet and ducks under the apron as he holds them down. The referee counts to 3. Jacob Fatu is your new United States champion. Cody argues with the referee as Solo grabs the US belt and celebrates with Jacob. And that is SmackDown.